December 27th. Had a little bit of a slower hunt on a different property last night. So I'm back on my farm this afternoon, still going after the yard dog 10. As I've said before, it's by far not the biggest deer on the farm. There's probably 5 or 6 that are going to score better than him, but I do think he's the oldest and most dominant, and that's what I'm after this time of year. So hoping I can get him in bow range tonight. Been back in the same spot that I hunted, I think it's been 5 days ago now. And it's warm, it's probably 50 degrees, a little breezy, keeping it cooler, but definitely not ideal late season weather. And I kind of thought it'd be really late movement, which it probably still will be, but there was actually 5 deer out in the field when I got here. I was able to sneak into the tree, got up, started getting things set up, and I heard squirrels going crazy over here, and out came a coyote, and he came out and cleared the field. So before I could even get the camera or anything set up, and tried calling him in a little bit, but he wasn't. He was going right towards those deer. So the field is empty right now. We'll see what the movement's like. Just love being down here, love being out on this piece, and been having good hunts almost every single time, so I hope that continues. I love to film some of these other bucks, although I think it's just the one that's on the hit list tonight. We'll just kind of see, but just hoping for a good hunt, hoping the weather doesn't slow him down too much. It's about 3:30 now, and still have yet to see a deer after the coyote cleared those early ones, of course. So I think it is the weather, but it just feels so much later than it is. It's just so dark and overcast. So if I had to guess, I'd say around 4 the deer will start moving, but let's hope at least by then get some deer in the field. Man, what a hunt tonight. Started off slow, but man, it picked up and ended up being a phenomenal sit. It was crazy to see that old 10, the yard dog, first deer in the field. Just crazy. I wouldn't expect that out of what I think is the oldest deer on the farm. It almost looked like he was surprised too. You know, he came out just constantly scanning, take a few steps, scan, and eventually started feeding. He was probably out by himself for, I would say, 5 minutes, and then the rest of the deer joined him. He worked his way around the entire field, you know, pushing some deer around. That's kind of where he got his name. He's always keeping things on the move, and obviously worked over by the blind. And as I was filming him walk past the next gen blind, I could hear some grunting, and I knew exactly which deer it was. It's that buck I call Thorn. He's the most vocal buck that I've ever heard. He's constantly grunting. He's got like kind of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's higher pitched than most bucks, it seems like, but it's got a little growl to it as well. But I've heard him grunt so often on trail cam videos, encounters. He's always grunting. And I didn't even have to look to know which deer it was. I knew he was coming. I looked over after I filmed that 10 walk by the blind, looked over, and he stepped out. That thorn buck stepped out 150 yards away and trotted out into the field. And right behind him was that big 9. So it was pretty cool to see all 3 of those bucks in the field at one time. That old buck was just leaving the field basically when they got there, and it's been pretty rare for me to see him with other bucks. It just seemed, I don't know if it's a coincidence or what, if he keeps them out of there. I don't really know, but oftentimes if I see the yard dog 10, I don't see the other bucks. Not always, but more often than not, he's by himself. But just a phenomenal sit. At the end, I did have one mature doe get downwind of me. You probably hear blow a couple times. You also heard a muzzleloader blast from a neighboring property. So that always makes it cringe a little bit. But regardless, it was a fun sit. I was able to wait a while. The deer settled back down after that doe blew. I waited for a while. I was able to sneak out of there. And that's been the key to having good hunts over and over again on the same field, and just getting out clean. You know, it's not always perfect. Most of the time it isn't, but if you can minimize that damage, it just sets up for better future hunting. So I'll keep after. I'll probably switch back and forth between that property and this other one where I'm targeting another old buck. So another fun sit on the new farm.